Today, we are going to learn one of the biggest tools a writer has to really capture the reader's imagination. And that tool is called figurative language. So today, we are going to learn 3 types of figurative language. How many?
3.
3 types of figurative language. Kim already read our learning target. We are not only going to learn those 3 types, we are going to analyze what those 3 types of language mean. So, that's what we're going to be able to do by the end of the day. Let's look at our anchor chart. On our anchor chart today, we have 4 different types of figurative language. There are about 9 or 10 different types, but we're just going to focus on 3 of them today. Our first one, let's talk about what figurative language is first. What do you think? What is figurative language? I need a guess. Something to start off with. Just stop it. Oh. Christopher.
Figurative language is a word or sentence that includes words that are like hold the horses, like figurative, and they're trying to say something else that's like funny and interesting.
Interesting. I like that. So Christopher gave a really good example right off the bat of what figurative language is. Christopher gave an idiom, though. We're not working on idioms today. We're going to do that another day. Those are really fun. Today we're going to work on 3 different types. But Christopher kind of got there. It says something, Catherine, hands down. It says something in a different way. So the definition for figurative language says, a word or phrase that does not have its everyday literal meaning. You're probably asking yourself, what does literal mean? Right? Let me tell you. We got some definitions before we can continue. So, we have our definition of figurative language. Now, I need Jaylene, read me the definition of literal. Or usual meaning of the word. So literal means, what does this word mean, right? So if we come over here, it means our definition. The word sternly means something strict or severe. That's the literal meaning of that word, what that word actually means. So we sometimes have literal meanings of words, but today we're going to have actual meanings of words. And actual says existing in fact and not merely as a possibility. Actual means this is what the author meant when they said that. Okay? So literal means what the word actually means. Caesar? And actual means what was the author trying to tell us? What did the author want us to picture in our imagination when they used that figurative language? Okay? So I picked out a quote that I thought described it really well. So there's an author, Lemony Snicket, who writes a series of children's books. They're a little bit higher reading level than you guys, so you might not have gotten to read them yet. But this is a quote that he said to explain figurative language. Gustavo, read it out for me, please.
If someone happens
Is something?
it actually happens. If something happens
Figuratively?
It feels like it is happening. If you are literally jumping for joy for an instant, it means you are leaping in the air because you are very happy. If you are literally jumping for joy, it means that you are so happy that you could jump for joy. But saving your energy for other moments.
So I thought that was a really good example. Some of you might have heard jumping for joy before. When you are jumping for joy, I'm jumping for joy. You could literally be jumping for joy, right? Literally, I'm so excited I'm jumping up and down. Or you could just say, I'm jumping for joy means I'm really excited. So the literal meaning is jumping for joy. The figurative meaning just means I'm so excited. I'm really happy. Okay? So I thought that was a really good example to start us off. What does figurative language do for us as a reader, and why do writers use it? So, let's look at the different types of figurative language. Because like I said, we have 3 different types that we need to learn today. First, we have a simile. Say it with me. Simile. A simile is a comparison of 2 unlike things using like or as. So in order for something to be a simile, it needs to have like or as. Have to have that in the sentence. An example of a simile would be my brothers are as loud as cymbals clanging together. Are your brothers actually cymbals clanging together?
No.
No, right? But they're as loud as those cymbals. That's a simile. It uses like or as. Okay? We have another type of metaphor. And a metaphor is similar to a simile because it compares two unlike things, but it does not use like or as. It just compares them. We read some frog poems way back a couple months ago. They had a lot of metaphors in them. Do we remember when they said that the frog had tomato eyes? Remember? We had those figurative language. We were talking about it kind of carefully then. Well, now we have a name for it. A comparison of two unlike things that says one thing is another. So John has a heart of stone. Is John's heart actually stone?
No.
What do you think that means? What do you think it means? John has a heart of stone. Adrian says it means he doesn't care about anyone. How did he get there? How did he get from heart of stone to he doesn't care about anybody? Leslie? A little bit louder, my friend. He has a mean heart. Interesting. Last one, Isaiah.
If we have a heart of stone, you don't really let's say it's a mean neighbor that you had, and a football went to his run, and then he hopped. That's a heart of stone.
So a person who has a heart of stone does things that are mean. Okay? So you got all of that from these 3 words. From 3 words, the author really captured imagination. Isaiah made up a story for John. His imagination went all the way there. He had this whole plan for what John's really like just because he heard those 3 words. So think about the power that figurative language has. It's so much better than just saying John's mean. Saying John's mean, my imagination doesn't go anywhere. I just think, okay, moving on. So when I say John has a heart of stone, that's a whole different story. I really know what John is like. John is really probably not a nice person. All right. Our last one that we're going to talk about today. This is a really fun one, and we've seen this so many times. It's called personification. Say it with me. Personification. Oh, I hear some O's. We might have heard this one before. Personification means giving human qualities to non-human things. Okay? So, for example, the morning sun smiled down on me as I walked to the bus. The morning sun smiled down on me. Was the sun actually smiling? No. Why would someone say that? Why would someone say the sun was smiling? I need a couple more hands. I need some new ideas, some new voices. Eileen? What? The sun was shining. Okay. You smell it? Smiling means everything's going right today. The sun is shining on me. I'm feeling good. The sun was smiling down. Why? Why do you think authors use personification? Why would you give human qualities to things that aren't human? Marlene? So you can hook your reader? Absolutely, Aiden. Gives you more details. Last one, Joshua. Paints a really good picture in the reader's head. So we seem like we have a good idea of why we use figurative language. Now here comes the test. Today, we're going to be trying to figure out which type of comparison it is. Okay? We're going to try to get a piece of figurative language. We're going to try to figure out, is it a simile? Is it a metaphor? Is it personification? And then we're going to try to figure out exactly what you guys just did with me. What is the author doing? And I'm so excited we are doing this with Peter Pan because I'm sure you guys have noticed there's so much figurative language in this book. So much. And all of it makes us want to read. You guys love reading Peter Pan. This is why. Peter Pan has so much figurative language. So I need your full attention because I'm going to do one by myself. And then you guys are going to try to. Okay? So I need Miss Anaya to please read the figurative language on the left.
1